The Justice Department today made its legal opinion known that President Barack Obama's controversial recess appointments last week are constitutional. But not everybody agrees. Congressional Republicans say the president has once again overstepped his bounds. So, who has the Constitution on their side? Ben has the reality check.
It was last week when President Obama appointed Richard Cordray to lead the new Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Cordray was most recently Ohio's Attorney General. The president also made 3 other appointments to the National Labor Relations Board. The problem here, the president did so without first getting approval from the Senate. The president says he did it during a Senate recess, and what happened wasn't a problem. But Congress says the Senate was not in recess. So what are the facts here?
When Congress refuses to act, and as a result hurts our economy and puts our people at risk, then I have an obligation as president to do what I can without them.
But could the president make these appointments in the way he did? The Constitution permits presidents to install appointees when the Senate is not in session. These are, of course, called recess appointments. And presidents from both sides of the aisle make these appointments all the time. But the president cannot make the appointment without the Congress if they are in session. The last clause of Section 5 of Article 1 of the Constitution says this: neither house of Congress can adjourn for more than 3 days without the consent of the other house. In the case of Cordray's appointment, the House of Representatives had not formally consented to Senate adjournment. Now, to be clear, yes, Republicans in the House were trying to prevent President Obama from making recess appointments. They did that by scheduling informal or pro forma sessions where nothing's actually done. Lawmakers convene every third day during their break, and sometimes they convene for only a few seconds. The president says it's all just a game, and technically the Congress is in recess because they're not doing anything. Therefore, he could make the appointments. Today, his Justice Department echoed that sentiment, stating this: the brief pro forma sessions called for the purpose of preventing recess appointments do not have the legal effect of interrupting an intra-session recess long enough to qualify as a recess of the Senate under the Recess Appointments Clause. The opinion came from the Office of Legal Counsel, whose top lawyers are part of the Obama administration, and they answer to Attorney General Eric Holder, so hardly impartial in the matter. But even as the president makes his case, among those supporting him, Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. Well, maybe Reid has already forgotten that it was in 2007 when Senate Democrats, led by Reid, did the exact same thing to block President Bush's appointments. November 20th of 2007, the Democrat-controlled Senate convened for 30 seconds to prevent President Bush from making recess appointments. They met 4 times every 3 days during that session. The exact same thing that Republicans were doing this time around. So here's what you need to know. This latest move by the president is being hailed as bold and a show of strength by Democrats, but the bottom line is it was illegal. The president had no right to make these appointments because the Senate was still in session. The bigger issue, though, the hypocrisy of lawmakers who use the Constitution just 4 years ago when it benefits them and then step on it when it gets in the way. The president and the Congress swear an oath to uphold the Constitution and to defend it. But instead, too often it seems they've sworn allegiance to the party instead. And that is Reality Check.
If you would like to make your voice heard on this story, you can simply head over to Ben's Facebook page. You can find it by searching Ben Swan, WXIX.